Hello, my name is Wes Hickey. I'm the chair of the Department of Educational Leadership at the University of Texas at Tyler. And in this weekly 5, I want to talk about the new rating system, which gives each one of our schools a designation of A through F in 4 different areas. And the 4 areas are the same thing we see on TAPR. And so you're going to get that particular designation, like say in student achievement, student progress, closing performance gaps, and post-secondary readiness. Now, there's been a lot of comments about this lately from parents and educators alike. Blog talked about their child, their 4th grader, who found out that their school had an F rating, and she said that the people who did that are quote unquote dumb, and that obviously they haven't been there because they don't understand how important and how well their school does at developing students. We've had a lot of criticisms from educational leaders as well. One of them is just that the STAR itself doesn't create the kind of students that we want to create, the kind of citizens that we want, the kind of individuals that are prepared for today's workplace. And also that the scoring standards are oftentimes kind of arbitrary. We don't even know many times how we're going to be rated until after we have any opportunity to be able to change anything. The Commissioner of Education selects them. It is a long document with a lot of different little algorithms in it that individuals that did well based upon the early scoring that we got in August didn't do as well this time. It's just difficult to understand exactly what goes into this scoring, and it makes it more difficult for schools to be able to comply with that. And what we also see here is that it really aligns more clearly with the socioeconomic level of the students in your district. If you're from an affluent district where students have the opportunity for a lot of experiences, a lot of help in a lot of ways, they usually do better. If you go into one where it's more of a low income area, they do much poorly on this A through F rating system. In fact, TASB has talked about that it's just a symptom of a larger sickness, a desire to use standardized testing to label the value of any school, and it does a disservice to everybody involved because schools do so much more than just prepare people for the test. But maybe this has a bigger purpose for political reasons, and it appears as if this is something to push an agenda for ultimately for school vouchers somewhere later down the line. And in fact, our lieutenant governor basically said that. He said the letter grades are here to stay, and that ultimately is that showing that a lot of schools hit the D through F rating indicates that the need for vouchers is more important than he even thought it was, and that he's going to be pushing this even further in this next legislative session. But bottom line is this: if the Texas legislature and TEA want to make sure that we're having the best schools possible, they need to make sure that educational leaders are sitting at the table and finding out exactly what the impact of different things are going to be. Ultimately, many of the individuals that are making decisions about our schools don't really have any idea what it's like to be in a school. And so if their purpose is simply to try to make schools look bad, then that's one thing, and that's where they are right now. But if they truly want to create great schools, they're going to make sure that the educational leaders have a seat at the table. So what we do if we get the educational leaders at the table is we create this collective impact. And through that collective impact, we have our common agenda to have great schools. We want to come to terms with what measures we're going to have to determine what that's going to be. And we want to make that as simple as possible that has the biggest impact we possibly can have. We want to have mutually reinforcing activities, a lot of communication that goes around, and not attempts to try to have an I gotcha type situation, but to try to build actual strong educational systems. And through this communication and ultimately building trust, we make the best schools we possibly can have. At UT Tyler, let us know what we can do, and remember, inspire and educate, be architects for human potential.